Well, good afternoon. This is Hound Dog Steve on the 19th of October, and it is a beautiful fall day, and as you can see, part of the greenhouse is done. Some of the beds are done in with mustard just to hold the soil in place, and I hope to be finishing off this structure this weekend. I picked up my poly from a friend of mine from Meadowbrook Greenhouses, and so I am ready to go 1st of next year. So these beds have all been redone, cleaned out, turned over. I've done the hay treatment on this bed and the other bed, and I have yet to get some more hay, but I'll be doing that with the last two beds on this side of the garden. And look at the keys coming off the maple tree. I guess I'm going to have lots of little maple seedlings coming out of here next year. But the main job today is going to be transplanting some of my asparagus. I've had a good clean out of my strawberries. Now, I don't know if you can see here. Okay, you see that leaf there with all those spots on it? Okay, that is fusarium. And so I've cleaned out the ones that have been affected. And interestingly enough, kind of hard to see here, but these are the runners that have come off those plants, and they do not seem to be affected by the fusarium. So I'm wondering if they've made minor differences to their internal chemistry to fight off fusarium. Anyway, I've replanted those, and we'll see what happens next year. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this, this root has just become too big, and you can separate that. I'm going to cut that into fours, and so it will look like that when you cut it off, and that will transplant perfectly. And I just wanted to spread these out a little bit, and so they had more room to grow. Add some more manure, because it's been a while since I composted these roots. And so you're going to dig down about 2 feet, somewhere between 1.5 feet and 2 feet, and usually the roots go down, but I'll be getting some compost and putting that on top of those and filling it in, and coming backwards this way, so that basically it just covers a larger area, and it cleans up those that were growing into the strawberry beds and sort of shadowing over them. So the strawberry beds are done now, and covered with a little bit of mulch. The asparagus has all been moved and transplanted, and has been buried again, ready for next spring. And I have all of my garlic in now. Look at the 2 dill weeds coming up still. Look at that. And of course kale, still eating lots of carrots. These are my next 2 beds I'm going to clean up, ready for winter. But right now I'm working over here, and because I did have some blight in my tomato plants, and you can actually see those little splotches. See that kind of mottled appearance to the stem? Yeah, that is the blight. And so I am not going to compost any of this stuff, and what you should endeavour to do is to remove every piece that is left, even the bits of string that you tied them up with. Remove that completely, and put that in a city composter. Okay, the city has a big composter there that you can dump green material in, and it will reach a temperature that will deal with the blight. So this is probably one of the most important things that you can do to prevent the continued problem. So that's you're going to remove all of that debris, all that stuff that's on the surface, and then I'll turn that over, add manure, and we'll be ready to go for next spring. Now I don't know if you can see how many fall raspberries I have on these bushes, but these have been excellent producers. I've been picking about that much off every branch just about every day. It's been actually incredible how productive these fall berries are. And they're still coming on. Look at that, look, they're still coming on. I guess as long as the bees and what have you around to pollinate, they are going to keep on happening. So yes, I'm very, very pleased. Yum, 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 yum. And I think I've mentioned this before, but when you grow organic berries, they have a natural fungicide that they produce, which is an anti-cancer ingredient. And but when you start to put herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, that kind of stuff, other chemicals, they say, well, if you're going to do that, then I won't bother to produce this toxin or this repellent, this natural repellent that I have to keep fungus and so on and so forth off. So yeah, keep your berries clean. And as you can see, you know, like all I do is put manure, worm composted horse manure, keep it well weeded. And this is now the second year that I've had these berries, or maybe it's the third year. Anyway, they are really well established. They've got a good root mass going on down there, so yes, I'm sure I'm going to get some great berries for years to come. Now in the springtime, what I will be doing, I don't know if you can see in there the two largest stems, I will be cutting those out and allowing the new young stems to come up so it doesn't get so crowded. So I'll be just snipping these back. You're supposed to do this every couple of years, just to, like I say, keep those young shoots coming on without taking away all of your good berry bearing shoots. Well, the frost has killed my zucchini plant, but I discovered one last zucchini. Look at that. I love a zucchini. Now, something I don't often talk about, that is my little bench, by the way, but something I don't often talk about is spirituality. And you may have seen this as I walk around my garden, and this is my small Buddhist temple, and I always have a small offering of food and produce from the garden to be blessed by Buddha. And sometimes I come down here of an evening and I will just meditate along with the plants, and it's a very peaceful setting. Anyway, he's been sitting here for a long time now. As you can see, the weather has gotten to him. I may have to get another one soon to replace that, but I think he's been pretty happy here. He's certainly been sheltered, and he stays out here winter and summer to watch over and to help guide the energies. And looks like he's doing a pretty good job. So there you go, that's a little page from Steve's spiritual world. And I certainly do believe in the connectedness of all things, all beings connected to one another. I like the way Alan Watts describes it, and he says, you know, we're all made of the same stuff that the universe is made out of, And he says, if you imagine the Big Bang as someone throwing a can of paint at a white wall, you would see in the center a glob of solid paint, and as you move further out you see more and more complex patterns forming from the splatter, and we are part of those complex patterns, but we are, after all joined. One drop from the ocean. We leave the ocean and we become who we are on this planet, or wherever that drop may be, and then we fall back into the ocean again and become part of the big one. Anyway, that's a general belief that has satisfied me internally for an awful long time, and I hope you find some peace too. So that's about it. That's the fall garden update. This is your survival garden, and it is going to feed you. So look after your survival garden and it will look after you. So this is Hound Dog Steve signing off. I hope you have a great week coming up, and we will talk very, very shortly. Take care now. Have a great day.